The Galactic Council did not believe in ghosts. They believed in numbers. Mass heat speed fuel. Everything in the universe left a trace. That is why the room went silent when the warning arrived. It began as a normal report from a border patrol near the edge of known space. One of the calm zones where nothing ever happened. A place used only for trade lanes and old mining routes. The patrol was made of 6 ships from 6 species. They were not friends, but they followed council orders. Their leader was Commander Vesh of the Karnai. His voice came through the emergency channel with heavy breathing. He sounded like someone running from fire. Council Emergency Control asked him what was happening. Vesh tried to answer, but the signal shook. Then he said one line that froze the entire council chamber. Something is here, and our scanners cannot see it. The council members laughed at first. Small short sounds that died quickly. Because even as they laughed, the main wall screen turned black. Not space black, but empty black. Like someone had removed the stars from the sky. The council chairman, Elder Roan, leaned forward. His long fingers tapped the table. He asked if the patrol was inside a nebula or a storm field. Vesh swallowed hard. No, Elder. Space is clean, but the stars are disappearing behind it. Behind what? A council scientist whispered. Vesh did not answer with words. He sent the drone footage. The video played, a wide view of silent space. Then a thin line of darkness moved across the frame. It was not a shadow. It was deeper than shadow. It looked like a hole cut in reality. Then the patrol ships appeared on the edge of the darkness. Their lights flashing, weapons armed, thrusters burning, and still they looked tiny. Slowly the object revealed itself. A massive warship, long and sharp like a blade, covered in gray armor plates, full of hard edges and deep grooves. It looked like an ancient fortress built by machines. Thin red lines glowed along its body like veins. The glow was not bright like fire. It was calm like a heartbeat. Several small ships floated near it like silent guards. They moved with perfect control. No exhaust, no trails, only motion. One council member stood up, a tall noble from the Zevrian Empire. He pointed at the screen and said this was fake. Humans could not build ships like this. Humans were new. Humans were noisy. Humans used crude engines. Everyone knew that. But the council scientist shook her head. She read the sensor data beside the video. Her voice became weak. There is no heat signature, no reactor flare, no engine trail. The mass reading is wrong. It is like the ship is not fully here. Elder Roan asked a simple question. Commander Vesh, did you challenge it? Vesh looked away from the camera, then back again. His face was pale. Yes, Elder. We ordered it to identify itself. It did not answer. The council chamber filled with angry voices. They demanded the patrol fire warning shots. They demanded proof. They demanded control. Vesh lifted his hand and the shouting stopped. His eyes were wet. You do not understand. We fired. The shots vanished. They did not hit armor. They did not miss. They disappeared, like the space around the ship ate them. The video showed the moment. Bright blue beams flying forward. Then nothing. No impact. No flash. No sparks. Only silence. Then the human warship moved. It did not turn like a normal ship. It shifted, like someone slid it across a table. The distance between it and the patrol collapsed, and the patrol ships shook. Their hulls bent. Their engines screamed. Their crews screamed louder. Vesh shouted orders. Pull back now. Pull back now. 3 ships managed to retreat. 2 ships froze in place as if held by invisible hands. The last ship began to spin out of control. Its gravity field failed. Its crew floated helpless inside. Then a message arrived. Not loud, not emotional. Just cold, simple words in perfect council language. Do not follow. The council went silent again. Elder Roan felt a strange chill. Because the message did not ask. It commanded. The human warship did not fire. It did not chase. It simply stayed there like a warning sign made of metal and darkness. Vesh spoke one last time. Elder, permission to retreat fully. Elder Roan opened his mouth to agree. But a young council aide ran into the chamber, his face full of panic. Elder, the object is moving. It is leaving the border. It is coming toward the capital lanes. Elder Roan stared at the screen. The warship was already drifting forward. Slow, smooth, silent. Like it knew the way. And as it moved, the stars behind it vanished again. One by one. Like the galaxy itself was holding its breath. Elder Roan whispered to himself. Humans, what have you built? And deep in space, the Dark Matter Warship continued forward, carrying a calm red glow, and a warning that sounded like the beginning of a storm. The Galactic Council did not sleep after the border signal. They did not eat. They did not even argue the normal way. Fear changed everything. In the highest chamber of the council station, the air felt cold. Screens floated in the dark, showing the same image again and again. The giant human warship, its gray armor like a mountain, its red lines glowing like quiet fire, and the stars behind it disappearing. Elder Roan stood at the center table. Around him sat leaders of 20 species, general scientists, nobles, trade masters, all of them watching the tracking map. A bright line showed the warship path, straight toward the capital system, and every minute the line grew closer. Admiral Kron of the Talmor fleet slammed his fist on the table. We should destroy it now. We have fleets. We have numbers. We have authority. The council scientist, Dr. Senna, spoke softly. Numbers do not matter when physics stops working. We fired beams at it, and the beams vanished. We do not know what we are facing. The Zevrian noble hissed in anger. Humans are liars. They pretend to be weak to gain sympathy. This is a trick. They want council power. Elder Roan lifted his hand. Enough. We need facts. An aide projected the latest sensor report. The human warship did not use hyperspace gates. It did not open wormholes. It did not show warp flare. It simply moved, and every time it moved, the space around it bent. Dr. Senna zoomed the image. Look here. The light behind it is stretched. Stars are distorted. This is gravity manipulation, but not like any normal drive. A small voice came from the far end. It was Council Archivist Luma, a thin, old being who rarely spoke. There's an old record, a forbidden record. It mentions this. Everyone turned. Elder Roan narrowed his eyes. Forbidden record from where? Luma swallowed. From the first human contact era, before humanity joined the council. A file marked Dark Matter Doctrine. The room reacted like a storm. Some shouted. Some demanded silence. Some laughed like it was a joke. Elder Roan spoke slowly. Open it. Luma hesitated. The file has a council lock. It requires 3 elder keys and a warning seal. Elder Roan placed his hand on the table. Then do it. The seal broke. A cold blue light filled the room, and the archive began to play a voice recording. A human voice. Old and rough, like stone scraping metal. This is Director Hale of Terran Black Project Division. If you are hearing this, then the Council has found our shadow fleet. Listen carefully. We did not build them for you. We built them for what lives beyond the Dark Corridor. If we ever move these ships into your space, it means the threat has returned. Do not interfere. Do not follow. Do not demand control. Just stay out of the way. The message ended. Silence returned heavier than before. Admiral Kron looked confused. Shadow Fleet. What threat? Dr. Senna began shaking. Dark Corridor. That is a region beyond map space. No probes returned from there. Elder Roan stared at the tracking map again. So humans had these ships hidden for a long time, and they only bring them out when something worse appears. The Zevrian noble stood up. This is still human manipulation. Why would humans protect us? Humans are selfish. Humans are dangerous. A second aide rushed into the room. Elder, the human embassy is requesting emergency contact. They say it is urgent. Elder Roan did not answer quickly. His mind was racing. If humans were moving this warship toward the capital, then the embassy message mattered. He nodded. Connect. A human diplomat appeared on the screen. Ambassador Mirren. Her face looked tired. Her hair was tied back. Her eyes were calm but sharp. Elder Roan asked her one question. Ambassador, is that ship yours? Mirren nodded. Yes, Elder. It is Terran Navy asset. Designation Night Veil. Admiral Kron growled. Then order it to stop. We did not authorize this. Mirren did not flinch. Authorization is not required. We are responding to a threat you do not understand. Elder Roan leaned forward. Then explain it. Mirren took a slow breath. A breach has opened near your outer lanes. Something is coming through. We detected it first. We try to keep it quiet. But now it is too late. The Zevrian noble laughed. And where is your proof? Mirren looked directly at him. My proof is that your border patrol is alive. Because we chose not to erase them when they followed us. The chamber went still. Mirren continued. Night Veil is moving to intercept. We will not fight inside your capital orbit unless forced. Keep your fleets away. Do not lock weapons. Do not chase our ship. Elder Roan asked. What is coming? Mirren paused. Her voice became lower. A fleet that eats gravity. A fleet that kills stars. We call them the Nullborn. Dr. Senna whispered. Impossible. Mirren raised one finger. One of their scouts is already inside Council space. And it is headed to your capital with the same path you see on your screen. Elder Roan felt his heart tighten. The human ship was not the attacker. It was the shield. But the Council had already made a choice. Because outside the chamber alarms began to scream. A red light flashed on every wall. And the Council station trembled once. Like a distant in space. An aide cried out. Unknown contact detected. Not human. Not any Council species. It just entered the capital lane. Elder Roan turned toward the main screen, and the tracking map changed. A second dark mark appeared, smaller than the human warship, but colder, and the stars around it began to dim. Mirren spoke one last warning. Elder Roan, that is not us, and if it reaches your planet, you will never see another sunrise. Then her screen cut out, and the Galactic Council finally understood. The real terror was not the human ship. The real terror had just arrived behind it. The capital system was the heart of the galaxy. Bright trade lanes, endless stations, millions of ships moving like silver fish through dark water. But when the unknown contact arrived, everything slowed. Alarms echoed through the Council station. Red lights painted every corridor. Security drones floated into position. And outside the wide windows, the peaceful traffic began to scatter. Elder Roan stood in the command gallery above the main defense grid. Below him, operators shouted updates. Their voices were tight with fear. Unknown object confirmed inside Capital Lane. Range closing fast. No transponder. No engine flare. No heat. Dr. Senna arrived beside him. Her hand shook as she held a tablet. It showed live sensor waves. Every line was wrong. Every reading contradicted itself. Elder Roan asked her quietly, "Is this the Nullborn?" She did not answer with confidence, but she nodded once. On the main display, the object appeared as a black dot, so small it could have been dust. Yet every scanner treated it like a storm. Stars behind it flickered as if light forgot where to go. Admiral Kron demanded the defense fleet form a wall. He wanted 20 battleships to block the lane. He wanted to fire first. Elder Roan allowed it, not because he believed it would work, but because he needed time. The defense fleet moved into place. Huge ships from every species. Bright shields, heavy cannons, missile racks ready. Their lights looked proud and brave. Then the black dot moved closer, and the space between it and the fleet became thin, like a stretched skin about to tear. The first battleship fired a warning burst. A long blue beam cut through darkness. And for a moment, the crew felt relief. Because the shot looked perfect. Then the beam vanished. Not stopped. Not deflected. Gone. The second ship fired missiles. A cloud of metal and fire. But the missiles slowed. Then curved away. Like they were being pulled by invisible hands. The black dot did not change shape. It did not glow. It did not roar. It only moved forward, and the fleet began to drift. Gravity failed. Ships that weighed mountains began to float like paper. Their formations broke. Their pilots shouted. Engines screamed, but nothing responded. Dr. Senna whispered, "It is draining their gravity fields. It is eating the laws that hold them together." Elder Roan felt the station tremble. A soft shake, then another. like distant thunder inside metal bones. An operator cried out. Planetary tide systems rising. Ocean levels changing. Satellites drifting. This is affecting the capital world. Elder Roan turned to the window. Far below, the capital planet glowed blue and green, beautiful and calm. But now its atmosphere shimmered strangely, like heat haze on a desert road. Then the human warship appeared. Night Vale did not arrive through the lane. It appeared on the edge of the system, as if the universe opened a door just for it. 1 second, empty stars. The next second, the massive gray hull existed, with red lines pulsing like a sleeping beast. A murmur spread through the command gallery. Some gasped. Some backed away. Some stared like children. Night Vale moved slowly toward the black dot. Not rushing. Not chasing. Like a hunter walking toward a trapped animal. Elder Roan opened a secure channel to the human embassy. Ambassador Mirren answered instantly, as if she had been waiting. Elder Roan asked, "Is Night Vale here to destroy it?" Mirren replied, "Night Vale is here to stop it. Destruction is not always possible." Admiral Kron shouted, "Then do it now. Our fleets are dying." Mirren looked at the Admiral, and her eyes held no fear, only hard certainty. "Your fleets are not dying. Not yet. The Nullborn are testing. They always test first." Elder Roan asked, "Why do we feel tremors here?" Mirren pointed to the planet on the display. "Because your world is heavy. Its gravity is strong. The Nullborn feed on gravity like a mouth feeds on air. They are pulling on your planet, and the planet is answering." A new alert sounded. Massive gravity spike detected. Source Night Vale. Night Vale changed. A thin dark ring opened around the human ship, like a halo made of shadow. It expanded slowly, and as it expanded, the starfield behind it bent and stretched. The black dot paused. For the first time it reacted, and everyone in the gallery felt it. A pressure in the chest, a sudden cold behind the eyes, like something unseen had looked directly at them. Dr. Senna whispered, "It noticed us." Mirren spoke softly. "It noticed Night Vale. That is what we wanted." Night Vale sent a message into open space. No loud signal, no bright flash, just a calm transmission that filled every speaker on the station. "Do not come closer. Turn back now." The black dot answered, not with words, with movement. It unfolded like a flower made of darkness. Thin, jagged shapes spreading outward, forming a sharp alien craft, small but wrong, as if it was made of broken angles and frozen night. And then it sent its own message. Not in council language, not in any language. It was a sound, a low hum that made the walls vibrate, and the capital planet trembled harder. Towers shook, ships drifted, people screamed in streets far below. Elder Roan grabbed the rail to steady himself. His eyes locked on the screen. Night Vale moved forward, red lines glowing brighter, the dark ring spinning faster. Mirren whispered like a warning prayer, "Elder, this is where your galaxy learns the truth. Humans did not build dark matter warships to rule you. Humans built them to survive what comes next." Then the black craft opened a thin slit of darkness in front of it, a doorway into nothing. And something huge began to push through from the other side. Something wide, something hungry, something that made the stars around the doorway dim like dying candles. Elder Roan felt his blood turn cold, because the scout was not alone. It had opened the way for the fleet behind it. Space screamed without sound. The doorway in front of the black craft widened. It looked like a tear in the universe, edges bending inward like broken glass. Stars near it dimmed, then vanished, as if the light was being swallowed. On the council station, every sensor went wild. Numbers jumped, then fell, then turned into blank lines. Even time stamps began to mismatch. Dr. Senna stared at the data. Her voice was shaking. "This is not a normal breach. It is a controlled opening, like a gate made of hunger." Elder Roan watched the screen. Something massive pushed from the darkness beyond. Not one ship, many, shapes moving behind the veil like shadows behind a curtain. Admiral Kron shouted orders to launch all fleets. But most ships could not move, their gravity still broken. their formations still drifting helplessly. Some pilots tried emergency thrusters. Some tried manual correction, but the black craft drained their control again, and their engines became useless fire. Night Veil moved between the black craft and the capital planet. Its hull filled the screen, a mountain of metal and red light. The dark ring around it rotated faster now, like a storm forming around a calm eye. Elder Roan opened the channel again. Ambassador Mirren, how many are coming? Mirren did not answer immediately. She looked at her own screen. Her face turned hard. More than we hoped. Less than we feared. The first enemy ship emerged. It was not built like anything known. It looked like a long spine, covered in thin ribs, as if it was a creature, not a machine. Its surface drank the light around it, and behind it the void seemed deeper. Then a second ship appeared, then a third, then many more. A line of dark spines forming a silent wall across the capital lane. Council operators began to panic. Some screamed that the capital world was doomed. Some begged for evacuation. Some demanded humans fix it now. Mirren spoke through the open channel. Everyone stay calm. Do not fire. Do not provoke. Night Veil will act. Admiral Kron ignored her. He ordered the nearest working battleship to fire a full strike. A bright storm of plasma and lasers rushed toward the enemy line. It looked beautiful, like a rising sun made of weapons. But the moment the shots touched the enemy ships, they faded, not exploding, not bouncing, just fading, as if the enemy ships were made of empty space. The council chamber went silent again. Dr. Senna whispered, "Our weapons do nothing. They are not armor. They are absence." Night Veil reacted. The red lines on its hull became brighter, not like heat, like blood rushing through veins. The dark ring around it expanded wider, covering the drifting council ships. Suddenly the council fleet stopped spinning. Gravity returned in a controlled wave. Ships stabilized. Pilots gasped in relief. Engines roared back to life. Elder Roan felt his legs steady. He understood. Night Veil was lending them gravity, like a shield wrapped around them. Mirren spoke. Night Veil can create a gravity pocket. It will keep your fleet alive, but you must not chase. Stay inside the pocket. Admiral Kron swallowed his pride. He kept his ships behind Night Veil. Then the enemy moved. The line of dark ships tilted forward, and the capital planet trembled again. Harder. Oceans surged. Storm clouds twisted. Satellites fell from orbit like broken insects. Elder Roan watched a live feed from the planet. Cities shaking, people running, buildings cracking, all from gravity, waves no one could see. Mirren whispered, "They are feeding. They want your world. They want its mass, its gravity. They will drink it dry." Elder Roan felt sick. How can you stop something that drinks gravity? Mirren answered, with something that controls it better than they do. Night Veil fired its first shot. There was no flash, no beam, no missile, only a soft, dark pulse, like a breath released into the void. The pulse traveled outward. It did not glow. It did not sparkle. It simply passed through space. When it touched the first enemy ship, the ship did not explode. It did not burn. It erased. One moment it existed. The next moment, there was nothing. No wreckage, no dust, no signal. It was removed from reality. A shockwave hit the council station. Not physical, emotional. A wave of terror and awe. Dr. Senna whispered. It deleted it. Admiral Kron stared at the screen. His mouth open. No weapon should do that. Night Veil fired again. 2 more enemy ships vanished. The enemy line paused, as if it finally understood the danger. Then a new shape emerged behind them, larger than the others, wide like a floating fortress, and at its center was a hollow core, a mouth-shaped hole that pulled light inward. Mirren spoke with anger. "That is their anchor ship. It holds the breach open." Elder Roan asked, "Can you destroy it?" Mirren looked away for a second, then back. "We can try, but if we fail, the capital world dies." Night Veil moved closer. Dark ring spinning faster. Red lines flashing in steady rhythm. The enemy anchor ship answered. A giant cone of darkness formed in front of it. Space bent inward. The stars around it stretched like long screams. And the gravity of the capital planet surged one last time. Then the anchor ship fired. A void cannon shot so huge it looked like a black river. It rushed toward Night Vale, and everything in its path went silent. Lights died. Signals vanished. Even the council fleet inside the gravity pocket felt the cold bite of nothing. Elder Roan held his breath, watching the black river close in. Night Vale did not dodge. It did not retreat. It did not blink. It opened its own dark ring wider and waited. The void cannon struck, and the human warship remained, still there, unchanged, as if the attack had hit a wall made of the universe itself. For one heartbeat, the galaxy stopped. Then the red lines on Night Vale blazed brighter than ever, and the human ship began to charge something deep inside, something the Council had never seen, something that could end the war in one moment, or tear the capital system apart forever. The void cannon had struck Night Vale, and yet nothing was broken. No fire, no torn armor, no drifting wreckage. The human warship stayed in place like a dark mountain holding back a storm. The black river of nothingness poured around it and vanished into the halo ring, as if the ship had swallowed the attack. Inside the council station, every operator stared at their screens in disbelief. Sensor waves showed only one truth. Night Vale had absorbed the enemy's shot, and the capital planet stopped trembling for a moment. Elder Roan felt his chest loosen, then tighten again, because the silence that followed was not peace. It was the pause before a greater strike. Ambassador Mirren spoke through the channel. Night Vale is still holding, but we have seconds. If the anchor ship fires again, the ring may overload. Admiral Kron asked. Then end it now. Use your weapon again. Mirren replied. The erase pulse works on smaller ships. The anchor ship is protected by a gravity shell. It is wrapped in stolen mass. We must cut its support first. Elder Roan watched the enemy formation. Dark ships floating around the anchor ship like teeth around a mouth. Each one feeding. Each one helping the breach stay open. Then Night Vale changed. Its red lines dimmed. Not dying. Focusing. The glow pulled inward as if the ship was gathering its own blood. The halo ring around it tightened, spinning faster and faster. And inside the ring space looked thick like deep water. Suddenly small lights opened along the warship hull. Thin lines on both sides. Like doors. Hundreds of them. And from them came movement. Thousands of small drones launched into space. Black and sharp. Each one no larger than a shuttle. They moved silently. No flames. No trails. Only perfect motion. Dr. Senna whispered. Those are not fighters. They are dark matter seeds. Elder Roan turned to her. What does that mean? She swallowed. It means they plant gravity where they want and remove it where they want. The drones spread outward like a storm cloud, not rushing the enemy head on, but slipping around them, like water flowing through cracks. The enemy ships reacted. They fired smaller void bursts, thin black darts that tried to hit the drones. But the darts curved away, pulled aside by unseen force. Night Vale was guiding everything. Mirren spoke softly. Do not blink. This is the dangerous part. The drones reached the edges of the enemy formation. Then they began to sink into the darkness near each ship. Not physically, but in a strange way, like they were sliding between layers of space. Suddenly, one enemy ship tilted. Its long spine shape bent, and it drifted away from the group, as if its gravity grip had snapped. Then another ship drifted. Then another. The enemy wall began to loosen. Admiral Kron shouted, They are breaking formation. Now we can attack. Mirren snapped back. No, stay inside the pocket. Your weapons still cannot hurt them. Let Night Vale do the cutting. Elder Roan watched the drones work. They were not exploding. They were not stabbing. They were stealing something invisible. The pull that held the enemy ships together. The anchor ship noticed too. Its hollow core brightened with a faint dark glow, and the space around it began to twist again. It was preparing another shot. Night Vale moved forward. Closer, closer. Its halo ring expanding again. like a shield pushing into danger. Then a new signal arrived from the enemy. It was translated by the Council computers into a simple, cold sentence. Give us Earth. The message repeated again and again. Give us Earth. Elder Roan felt sick. They wanted the human homeworld. Not for land. Not for people. For gravity. For mass. For fuel. Admiral Kron turned pale. He whispered, "They will burn our worlds to feed themselves." Another line appeared. "Or your capital will be first." Panic spread across the station. Council members screamed for surrender. Trade masters begged for negotiation. Some pointed at humans on the screen and blamed them. Elder Roan looked at Mirren. Her face was calm, but her jaw was tight. She had heard this threat before. Elder Roan asked, "Will you give them Earth to save us?" Mirren stared at him. Then she said words that felt like iron. "Humans do not trade their home. Humans do not buy peace with blood." The enemy anchor ship fired again. The void cannon opened like a mouth. A second black river poured out, larger than the first, wider, heavier. It swallowed light. It swallowed sound. It swallowed hope. The black river rushed toward Night Vale. Night Vale answered instantly. The halo ring around it turned into a full sphere. A dark bubble around the ship and the Council fleet inside the pocket. The bubble shimmered like a thin skin made of gravity itself. The void cannon hit the bubble. Space warped. Stars stretched into lines. For a moment, every screen on the Council station turned white. Then black. Then normal again. Night Vale still stood. But the bubble had cracks. Not metal cracks. Cracks in a gravity field. Thin, trembling lines across the sphere. Like glass about to shatter. Mirren spoke fast. "Third shot will break it. We must end the anchor now." Night Vale opened a deep bay at its center. A hidden chamber that had been sealed until now. Inside it, a black core began to rise. Slowly, like a sun made of darkness. Around it, red lights formed circles, locking it in place. Dr. Senna whispered in fear. "That is a dark matter core weapon. If it releases uncontrolled energy, it can rip planets apart." Elder Roan felt his hands go cold, and yet he could not look away. The drones around the enemy anchor ship suddenly stopped moving. They formed a ring around the anchor, tight and perfect. Then they all flashed red once. Night Vale spoke one final time into open space. Its message calm, its voice steady. "Last warning. Close the breach." The enemy did not listen. The anchor ship began to charge again. And Night Vale began to charge its core weapon higher, 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 until the darkness in the center of the human warship looked like it was staring back at the galaxy. And Elder Roan realized the next moment would decide everything. Either the Council would survive, or the capital system would be erased from the map forever. The capital system waited in fear. Even the stars looked quiet, as if they were afraid to shine too bright. Night Vale held its dark sphere shield around itself and the Council fleet. The sphere was still cracked, still trembling. Each second looked like the last second before it breaks. Inside the human warship, the dark matter core weapon rose higher. A black sun trapped in invisible chains. Red rings circled it like warning lights, and the airless space around it twisted as if it was heavy. Elder Roan watched from the Council station command gallery. His hands gripped the rail. His voice was low. "Ambassador Mirren, if you fire that weapon, what happens?" Mirren answered without pride, without joy. "The breach closes. The anchor dies. And everything inside the kill zone will be gone." Admiral Kron asked, "Including us?" Mirren looked at him. "If you stay behind Night Vale, you will live. If you move forward, you will not." The enemy anchor ship began charging again. Its hollow mouth grew darker, its edges sharp like teeth. The smaller enemy ships moved closer to it, feeding it, supporting it, forming a living shield. The translated enemy message returned. "Give us Earth. Give us Earth. Give us Earth." Then a new message flashed across the Council network. Not from the enemy, from inside the Council itself. A vote request. Emergency surrender proposal. Offer Earth as trade. Save the capital world. Elder Roan felt his chest burn. He turned to the council members behind him. Many were shaking. Many were desperate. Some were ready to betray humans to save themselves. Elder Roan spoke hard. Do you want to live as cowards for one day and die tomorrow anyway? Silence, but not agreement. One Zevrian noble stepped forward. Humans brought this war. Humans hide weapons. Humans invite monsters. We must sacrifice them. Mirren heard it through the channel. She did not shout. She did not beg. She only said one calm line. Humans already sacrificed more than you know. Elder Roan looked at her. What do you mean? Mirren replied. The Nullborn destroyed 9 human colonies before the Council ever knew their name. We lost billions in silence. We built Night Vale and its sisters to stop them. We kept them hidden so the galaxy would not panic. And still they found you. The Zevrian noble backed away, his face pale. Outside, the sphere shield crack lines grew brighter. The enemy anchor ship was almost ready. Dr. Senna whispered, "It will fire again." Night Vale moved closer. Not much, just a slow push forward, bringing the dark sphere shield into the enemy line, dragging the Council fleet with it like a child held close. Admiral Kron protested. "We are too close." Mirren answered, "Close is the only way. If we do not seal the breach at the mouth, it will reopen somewhere else." A new tremor hit the capital planet, not as strong as before, but enough to cause fear. The enemy was pulling again, testing the world like a predator tasting prey. Elder Roan looked at the live planet feed. He saw people praying. He saw ships trying to escape. He saw lights flickering in cities, all because something in space wanted to drink the weight of their home. Then the enemy anchor fired. The third void cannon shot, the largest one. A flood of darkness, thicker than night, rushing like a waterfall through space. It hit the sphere shield. The cracks exploded across it. The shield screamed silently, and for a heartbeat, it looked like it would shatter. Elder Roan felt his stomach drop. Operator screamed. Sensors went blind, but the sphere did not break. Night Vale pushed back. Its red lines flared. Its halo spun, and the shield held together by pure will and gravity control. Mirren spoke through clenched teeth. Now, the drones around the anchor ship activated. They did not fire. They sank deeper. They became anchors of their own. Suddenly, the enemy anchor ship stopped moving. Its support ships froze. The breach behind them wavered, as if the doorway was losing its frame. Dr. Senna gasped. The drones are locking the enemy in place. They are pinning the breach. Night Vale raised the dark matter core weapon to full height. A black sphere formed in front of the warship, small at first, then growing, like a seed of nothing becoming a storm. Elder Roan could not breathe, because he felt the pull even from here, a strange pressure in his bones, a silent weight on his thoughts. Mirren spoke into open space. Final action initiated. All Council ships stay behind Night Vale. Do not move. Do not chase. Do not celebrate. Then the human warship released the core weapon pulse. It was not loud. It was not bright. It was absolute. A wave of controlled darkness expanded outward, smooth and perfect, like a curtain closing. It touched the enemy support ships first. They vanished, not shattered, not burned, just removed. It touched the anchor ship. The giant mouth collapsed inward, like it was folding into itself. The breach behind it shrank fast, fighting to stay open. Then it snapped shut. For 1 second, the galaxy saw the edge of the void beyond, a sea of dead light, and moving shadows far deeper than any fleet. Then the door closed. The wave continued a little further, and stopped, as if it obeyed a line drawn by human hands. The enemy ships were gone. The scout craft was gone. The threat was gone. The capital planet stopped trembling. Stars returned to their normal places. Light returned to the lane. The air inside the Council station felt warm again. Operators cried. Some fell to the floor. Some laughed through tears. Some could only stare at the empty space where death had been. Elder Roan finally released his breath. His voice cracked. "Ambassador Mirren, you saved us." Mirren looked at the empty space. Her face did not smile. She looked tired, like someone who has held back a nightmare too many times. She answered softly, "We did not save you for thanks. We saved you because you are alive, and because the Nullborn will return one day." Elder Roan swallowed. "What will you do now?" Mirren replied, "Night Vale will leave. The Shadow Fleet will hide again. But remember this day, when you feel safe. Do not forget who stood between your world and the dark." The council station went quiet, and Elder Roan understood the true lesson. Humans were not weak. Humans were not reckless children. Humans were the wall. And behind that wall, the galaxy had survived another night. But somewhere beyond the closed breach, something still moved in the dark, waiting, hungry, remembering the taste of gravity. And the war was not truly over.